Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
Joining me tonight on the debate is GVL Narsimha Rao, Member of Parliament and National Spokesperson of the BJP, Reena Gupta, Spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Dr. Riju Dutta, Spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress, and Chaudhari, Leader of the Congress. And my first question goes to GVL Narsimha Rao. GVL Narsimha Rao, there are two major casualties that I can see in this election result that we've seen. Number one, that all those who were building an atmosphere to say that the Prime Minister in his 8th year had lost the sheen, there was anti-incumbency, there was ill will against him and the BJP because of the farm protests, CAA protests, COVID handling, what have you. And then come these results and 4 states out of 5. The 5th one, only 50% of the seats were fought. But these 4 states, everywhere an incumbent government of the BJP, and he goes on a campaign blitzkrieg and wins them on just so emphatically that the opposition doesn't really know where to look. And the second casualty is the word secular. The word secular just died. The country has turned a deeper shade of saffron and nobody is apologetic about the same anymore. Do you think that describes what Prime Minister Narendra Modi stands for today after these victories in 4 states? GVL Narsimha Rao?
Navika ji, good evening to you and all the viewers. Even let me say 2018, I want people to remember the assembly election results of 2018 December. We lost governments in 3 states, in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, but in a span of 3 to 4 months after that, when Lok Sabha elections were held, we won all these 3 states handsomely. In Rajasthan, we swept all 25 out of 25 parliament seats. In Madhya Pradesh, we won 28 out of 29. Historic victories. What does that tell you? That Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, I think is not only winning Lok Sabha elections, yesterday's results tell you that he is actually sweeping even the state elections for the BJP. So if 2019 we could win 303 seats after losing 3 state elections, today we are certainly surging to a 400 plus tally in 2024. It is not going to be a normal victory. 2024 will be a gigantic victory because people of the states are also responding to Prime Minister Modi's call and winning state governments on the basis of delivery and promise by the Prime Minister. So what you're heading for into 2024 is not a victory but a gigantic and a spectacular victory. Number one. Number two, about this so-called the secular lobby, I think they were actually indulging in vote bank politics, communal appeasement, and clothed it with a term called secular. The real politics of secularism and not the abused version of secularism. The real version of secularism, as envisaged by our constitutional framers, is actually being implemented today. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas is another name for secularism, where state does not favor any particular religion. Every developmental program that we have conceived and delivered in the last 7 years has been delivered to every citizen of this country, irrespective of caste, creed, community. And this is a challenge that I can throw to anyone. In the last 8 years that Prime Minister Modi ji has been at the helm, or in the last 5 years that we have been in government in UP, Uttarakhand, can you name one particular even an incident, even a single program where we have discriminated on the basis of religion? No. We have certainly ensured development, justice happens to every citizen of this country, and that's the real secret of our success. I think if secularism has been protected, it has been protected today. For 7 decades, secularism has actually been communalism. Rank communalism was clothed very conveniently as secularism.
Well, Kamruzaman Chaudhary, what can I say to you? The Congress is a party today that I think has gone beyond ICU levels of treatment. I think, there were 2 states, at least 3 of them rather, where you could have formed a government. And many people believed that you had a fair chance. Uttarakhand, which in history of 21 years had never returned the same government to power. You had a plot, a man, and the turf there ready for the Congress to reap some benefits. You completely threw it away. In Punjab, you had it. Captain Amrinder Singh was getting the ground support. You completely threw him out of the window, and then what happened between Channi and Sidhu and Harish Rawat and company is part of folklore now. And then Goa, where every time you thought that it would be horse trading, you put your people in place even to take care of that, and there wasn't any opportunity. All dressed up, nowhere to go. And in Uttar Pradesh, the largest state in this country, the state which is the bastion of the Congress party, where bastion after bastion has been completely razed to the ground, whether it is Rai Bareli, lost completely, Amethi, lost completely. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, what is the Congress? What is the Congress's plan from here on?
Good evening, Navika. It seems you are reading with much pleasure the performance of the Congress party in this election.
Sir,
fact of the matter
where is the question of any emotion from a anchor or a journalist?
Yeah,
the writing is on the wall. If you can't see it, and I clearly see that you can't, stop finding fault with others. Look within. You'll find the faults within.
I am not finding fault at all with you. You have spoken the truth. I also agree. But the fact remains out here, out of the 5 states that went to the polls, we were in power in 1 state, of course. We lost very badly the Punjab state. Our leaders were in position to win back Uttarakhand, win back Goa. Even a good result was expected in Uttar Pradesh. We tried to set up a new narrative which failed to find any resonance on the ground level. We will introspect and find out the reasons, what are this thing. But the most important thing that is lacking is the Congress party has failed miserably in building up a narrative, a counter narrative to the hyper nationalism and the identity politics that GVL's party is playing in India today. When you started this program today, you said that secularism in India is already gone and nobody's apologetic
I'm sorry, you're misinterpreting. I said the word secularism that was used by the opposition is dead now because the country is secular, yet a deeper shade of saffron. So please don't twist and turn my words. Calm down.
I'm not twisting and turning your words. I am countering GVL's words out here. You are an anchor. You can say as you please. I will not get into that debate with you, but GVL, being from the ruling party, he must have understood the actual meaning of secularism. When his own chief minister started the identity politics in his campaign by 80-20 politics, by saying cut mullahs, by saying this and that. I don't want to repeat that on national television because I also feel ashamed to repeat those words. You, out of the 403 assembly constituencies, have you given a single candidate to the minority communities? Are there no candidate worthy enough of your ticket? You have deliberately omitted a section of the society from the electoral politics of this country. That is your game plan. Congress party has failed miserably to find an antidote to the narrative that the BJP has set in this country of hyper-nationalism and identity politics. Having said that, let me tell you just one thing. to defeat the BJP is not the only prerogative of the Congress party. What are the opposition parties doing here?
Chalo,
we gave the battle
chalo,
to
at least
Yadav.
that's the biggest admission that's come, that you've given up even trying to defeat the BJP. नहीं नहीं, अब तो आप give up कर दीजिए. First, the state from where prime ministers like Jawaharlal Nehru came, Indira Gandhi came, Rajiv Gandhi came, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, वो state में तो अब रायबरेली और अमेठी भी लूट गया है, and you are down from 7 to 2 people with 40% tickets given to women, with the largest number of rallies that any politician made by Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, and you get 2 seats. I believe there are 209 rallies of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, rallies, roadshows, combine them, and you win 2 seats. That is 104 and a half rally to win 1 seat. 104 and a half rallies to win 1 seat. And Riju Dutta, the question is being put to you कि आप भी तो गए थे गोवा में हराने के लिए बीजेपी को, तो सिर्फ कांग्रेस ने थोड़ी ठेका ले रखा है that they will defeat the BJP. What is the Trinamool Congress doing? That's Kamruzaman Chaudhari's question to you, and I'm adding one more. Did you see the transition of power in Uttar Pradesh, the largest state, the state that Mamata Banerjee had questioned and called names कि यहाँ पे सारे rowdies रहते हैं. कुछ नहीं हुआ रिजल्ट आने के बाद, और बंगाल में क्या हुआ था आपके जीतने के बाद, बस जरा याद कर लीजिए.
Navika ji, first of all, before I go into your question and what Mr. Kamrul Zaman said, I want to express my gratitude to the people of Goa for blessing us. We accept the people's mandate. We have gone from the east to the west coast to every house in Goa, and in 3 months' time, we have got a 6% vote share, and 4 of our candidates lost with less than a margin of 1,000 votes. And on your show, I'm going to say it on record that we are going to stay in Goa. We are going to fight for the people of Goa. We are going to raise their issues to the current government, the people's issues, and in 5 years' time, I'm telling you, Goa will see a new dawn. But if you remember, 3 months ago, before Goa went into polls, we let go of our political ego. We approached the Congress. We said, let's create an alliance to defeat the BJP, because our single point agenda is to defeat the BJP and house them in 2024. But because of their tall ego, they couldn't do it, and they handed Goa over to BJP again. And they have sent the people of Goa back 5 years. The bottom line, Navika ji, out of all this election that has come is that there needs to be a united opposition. All the like-minded parties who have the clear narrative of ousting the BJP needs to come together to combat this huge election machinery of the BJP along with its central agencies. That's point number 1. Point number 2 that has come out of this election is Congress is not fit for the primary opposition anymore. They have lost their space. They are losing one election after the other. All kudos to Arvind Kejriwal ji for defeating Congress in Punjab and for their brilliant result. But at the end of the day, you also have to remember that there is only one party that in a direct 1-to-1 bipolar contest that has defeated BJP, and the might of Narendra Modi and Amit Shah is Congress in Bengal.
चलो जी, लड़ाई हो गई opposition में. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, are you willing to give away your ego and make Mamata Banerjee the center point of the united opposition?
Suniya, Navika ji, now you must understand the past history. We have got Stalin leading in Tamil Nadu. We have got Uddhav Thackeray leading in Maharashtra. We have got Hemant Soren leading in Jharkhand. Now, where is Congress party leading in these 3 states that we are in coalition? Even in Karnataka also, we gave the mantle to JDS to lead the government there. Congress party is not a party which will always fight for the leadership.
Sir, you can't fight because now you are the tail ender. You are the tail ender. In Maharashtra, GVL Narsimha Rao is Kamruzaman Chaudhary doing a favor to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray by supporting the government. They are the tail enders. They don't matter. They can't form a government. यहाँ पे तो consolation prize में कम से कम 7 बिठा लेते हैं लोग. And this is being seen. This is being seen as a major trump card.
Also, we are given a minority stake. JDS had. We gave the government to JDS. It's not a question of a political dogmatism out here.
GVL Narsimha Rao responding to you. GVL Narsimha Rao responding to you.
GVL responded. Now let me just cite an example of Akali who walked away of the NDA.
Chaudhary.
Mr. Chaudhary, 2 seats in UP, so you can't get so much time. GVL needs the time to rebut you.
No,
I'm coming to you, Reena ji.
When I'm in the punching bag, ma'am, please give me the courtesy to
reply. In Maharashtra, the Congress party emerged 4th among all the 4 parties, the major political parties. They emerged 4th. But they think they are now the drivers of power in Maharashtra. They are doing a favor to Shiv Sena by keeping them in government. Congress actually entered this government through the back door. The mandate. They stole the mandate. In Tamil Nadu, they are a big drain. They are a big drain on.
Zaman Chaudhary, please do not speak over everybody. I've given you an opportunity. Please be fair. Yes, GVL.
In Tamil Nadu, it's at the mercy of DMK that Congress is still alive and kicking in Tamil Nadu. Otherwise, the Congress party would have been forgotten by the people of Tamil Nadu. I think the Congress must stop its arrogance. They have now, you see, the one major outcome of yesterday's results is some regional parties are claiming that they have become national by winning 2 seats in Goa or a state outside Delhi. But the reality is yesterday's result has made the Congress party into a regional party. There is no national alternative. There is no national competition to the BJP. It's all not because of anything else but our performance. It's performance-based public support that Prime Minister Modi ji enjoys today. The Congress is reduced to a regional party today, and they cannot any longer claim to be a national alternative or a national competitor to the BJP.
Absolutely.
I think next elections,
and all those political parties who have high-profile leaders will now have to accommodate on the high table Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, because Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has got a stupendous victory in Punjab. So, Reena Gupta, the question I want to ask you is that while Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has got a spectacular victory under his belt in Punjab, unprecedented victory since 1952 with the numbers that have been posted in. The fact is, already Riju Dutta says that, direct fight with BJP only, we have defeated the BJP in Bengal. Punjab is not so significant because you have defeated a totally lackluster Congress party. So, are they willing to take you at the high table in a united opposition?
It's the people of the country who will decide who is going to lead the opposition and who is giving a fight to whom. And just to quickly respond to what Mr. GVL Narsimha Rao was saying, I mean, why are they so scared of holding the MCD elections in Delhi? They have taken an unconstitutional decision to defer the MCD elections, which was supposed to be announced last week. The only reason is that because they know that after 15 years of misgovernance in Delhi, they're going to be routed out of Delhi. Their internal surveys say that. So that is the reason they have become scared of Aam Aadmi party in Delhi, and they have decided to defer the elections. Now, coming back to Punjab, Navika, all of these parties, Akalis, Congresses and BJP, the Prime Minister himself went there. All of these parties united against Aam Aadmi party. But still the people of Punjab decided to give us a chance. This is a very, very big victory, and it's a mandate for change. It's a mandate for Badlav. We are looking forward to working in Punjab and delivering on all our promises, Navika. And, as far as Congress is concerned, I think Congress should go out of business. Because right now, Navika, you see, unemployment is at its peak. Inflation is highest. The country economy is in doldrums. Even then, with such big anti-incumbency, Congress could not put up a fight in any of these states. then I really think that Congress should go out of business of politics.
Riju Dutta, Arvind Kejriwal, can he be the fulcrum of an opposition alliance?
I believe, whether it is Arvind Kejriwal ji of Aam Aadmi Party, whether it is Uddhav Thackeray ji, or whether it is Tejaswi ji, you know, we are like-minded parties who want to oust the BJP in 2024. Who will be the leader, that the people of this country will decide. But the opposition needs to come together to oust the BJP, and that is the call of the day. You know, I was listening to GVL ji very carefully, and you know, when he is talking that there is no national alternative to BJP, let me tell you, sir, this is the hubris that will bring your downfall. You may have won the battle, but the war is far from over. Your numbers have dipped everywhere. Yes, you have won, but your numbers have dipped. Your deputy chief ministers have lost in Uttar Pradesh. So it is not a very nice time, and state elections do not reflect on general elections and the national elections. So kitna bhi Netaji damru baja le, Netaji ko bhi ye pata hai. That is why he has gone to Gujrat already when the elections are in December. It is not going to be an easy path. Yes, you are a formidable force. No one is doubting it, with all the central agencies and the election machinery and the electoral bonds at your disposal. But if you think there is no national alternative and no opposition in this country, sir, you are sadly mistaken. There are parties who, if they fight their own turf and if they combine to fight this battle, you will lose, and 2024 you will see BJP losing, because the fight is for India, its people,
that hope must stay alive. But did you realize, Riju Dutta, that what have you admitted? You've admitted that there is one party called the BJP, led by one man called Narendra Modi, who leads the imagination and the popularity sweepstakes in this country alone, and on the other side you need the entire opposition to come together. Uddhav Thackeray bhi chahiye, Mamata Banerjee bhi chahiye, Arvind Kejriwal bhi chahiye, Rahul Gandhi aaye na aaye, Hemant Soren bhi chahiye, sab chahiye, aur ek aadmi hai Narendra Modi, uske khilaf sabko jana hai. Number one, you've yourself admitted that he's a one-man juggernaut. He is a one-man juggernaut. And when you say that वो already डर गए हैं, चले गए गुजरात, do you realize there is another way of looking at it? Look at that man. Look at that man. In the last 4 months, just count the number of rallies that he's done. Just count the fact that he's a workaholic who works all day. You know, whether he's successful or not, the opposition will have its own view on this, but people have given their mandate. But the fact is, he solved the vaccination crisis, the COVID crisis, the Ukraine crisis, you know, so many types of things. He has done, delivered, and then he leaves the BJP headquarters after a whirlwind election campaign, goes home at 10 p.m. at night, and next morning 9 o'clock he's in Gujrat doing a road show at 10 o'clock in the morning. Now
Navika,
that kind of energy, can anyone duplicate?
Navika.
GVL.
Navika ji, one question to you, one very pointed question to you and GVL, sir. One very pointed question.
1 minute, GVL is asking you a question. He's asking you a question, so I'll allow Riju Dutta to ask you that question. Yes, Riju.
Okay.
Ask the question.
Sure.
Yes. My only one pointed question is, after the victory of BJP in Uttar Pradesh, who is BJP's Prime Minister candidate in 2024? Who will hold the Hindu bastion?
GVL Narsimha Rao,
Narendra Modi or Yogi?
Respond.
Bhakts are dying to answer that question.
No, respond. He's responding. Respond.
I think he seems to have some confusion or wants to create confusion. The BJP, the country has no confusion. Prime Minister Modi ji will win 400 plus seats in 2024 and will become Prime Minister of this country again. He will be the Prime Minister, I'm telling you, he'll be the candidate, he'll be Prime Minister.
Okay.
I don't know, why do you have this kind of silly doubts? I don't understand.
I just
does it create
do you also
any
have
doubt
a doubt?
in your mind?
Kamru Zaman
Prime
Chaudhary,
Minister
you are
Narendra
smiling.
Modi ji will not
Kamru
only be a
Zaman
candidate.
Chaudhary, are you smiling? Did you also have a doubt?
No, I don't have any doubt. But the only thing is that who sits in the Prime Minister chair is not decided by Deen Dayal Upadhyay Street. It's decided by Nagpur. So it's wishful thinking on GVL's part
come on.
to decide on the Prime Minister.
Oh my God! Now this is desperation. This is desperation for a controversy. This is desperation for a controversy. But Reena Gupta, I want to ask you. I want to ask you while.
No, I have not finished my point. Navika, I have not finished my point.
All right.
I did not get a chance to speak.
Okay, GVL, make your point.
You've spoken the most, Mr. GVL.
When I got to know about, when somebody commented about Prime Minister's roadshow today in Gujrat, I'll tell you, it takes tremendous courage for any leader to plan a roadshow a day after the results without finally knowing what the results are. I think he did not plan it based on exit polls. He has all along known that people will stand by me because I am delivering my best. People will bless the BJP. People will bless me. And also, we are a workaholic. We will work 24/7. Our leader works 365 days a day. He has not taken a single day holiday in 8 years. The people of this country look at the leader and his commitment. And he is in Gujarat today because he wants to connect with his own people. What's wrong with it? And he's not like somebody who will go on a holiday abroad for 2 months. 2 months even after working for 2 days in the field.
Well, that's a point. That's a point. To be able, Reena Gupta, that's the question. To be able to put in place a roadshow a day after election results, you've got to have some confidence and connect with the people to know that you've made it, you are there, people are with you, and you will go. You will go to Gujrat and you will get the support of your people. Reena Gupta, that takes some confidence and some real connect with the people to know that they are with you. But I also want to ask you another question. I want to ask you the question that while you won Punjab and Delhi, it accounts for 20 seats in the Lok Sabha elections. Do you think 20 seats is enough for the Aam Aadmi Party to have national ambitions?
Navika, we continue to say this, and I'm saying this again. For us, working for the people, working on our model of governance is more important. We are not about just going on winning, doing road shows after road shows. This is what has happened to BJP. It's just become an election machinery. Aaj yahan chunav hai, kal wahan chunav hai. You tell me, what have they delivered on? Economy, bad shape. You look at unemployment, bad shape. You look at poverty numbers, bad shape. Hunger, malnutrition. मतलब चुनाव के बाद आप चुनाव जीतते जाइए, क्यों, उससे क्या फायदा है? आप रोड शो के ऊपर रोड शो करते जाइए, आप, लेकिन अगर युवा को एम्प्लॉयमेंट आप नहीं दे पाएंगे, इस समय आप युवा से जाके बात करिए. There is so much discontent just because they won Uttar Pradesh because the opposition could not set a narrative. But you go and talk to the people on the ground, there is distress in Uttar Pradesh. And
I think Reena Gupta, while you have a spectacular victory under your belt, I think today is not the day to pick on the problems on the ground. Yes, there are problems. It's a country of 1.3 billion people. There will always be problems, and especially after a pandemic, there will be a problem. But who do the people of India depend on to solve their problems? Are they choosing anybody other than Narendra Modi? That's the question the opposition will have to answer when they get their strategies right to take him on in 2024. And that battle just became more interesting to watch out for, because 2024 is where Narendra Modi is headed. Everything in between clearly seems to be very well within his reach. That's where I'll leave debate number 1 as I thank my panelists. On the other side, coming up, the giant killers of Punjab, all 6 of them who've defeated the Badals, Channi and Navjot Singh Sidhu and Captain Amrinder Singh, joining me on the other side.